Welcome back to the Talos of EV podcast. Sorry. Welcome back to the Talos of Tech podcast, everybody. We definitely didn't do EV first. I'm your host today because Mike didn't know we were recording, and he's the odd man out because Drew and I both said we wanted to look like Dr. Pepper with our shirts. So that's what we did.
This man went and got a Dr. Pepper just for that terrible joke.
Just to lead us in.
Do you keep them in stock?
I don't, but stock. I will within the next 2 weeks for no particular reason, just in case. I don't know. So Drew, I have to ask from the offset. I don't even care how you're doing. I don't care. Drew.
Wow. Good to hear.
I don't care how you're doing either, Mike. Drew, are you ready to apologize now?
For what? What did I do?
First of all, thank you for the shout out. I couldn't understand why I was getting such a quick influx of things. That was cute.
I didn't even check. Did something happen?
Well, I saw a certain concession, if you will. I saw a certain.
You'll have to be more specific. I concede on a lot.
This podcast is being recorded on the thing that people like the most.
The Pixel tablet.
Only half of what you said was accurate, Mike.
The
Pixel. No, go ahead. We don't. No, our audience deserves to hear it here and now. Tell them in deep form what happened and why.
I still don't know if you're talking about me being wrong about the iPad or
yes. That's the only thing that
or
matters.
About Team Pixel. Okay.
Oh, we will talk about Pixel afterwards. I'm just going to hit you with follow-ups for everything you did this week. But starting with
I'm
iPad.
on trial today, I think.
Yeah.
You were on trial.
Where were you on February 30th? Objection!
Hearsay. Well, basically, it's just okay. My opinion on the iPad. No, that wouldn't be accurate either. Okay. How do I phrase this?
You're wrong.
The iPad still does not make sense for my use case. So because it doesn't work for me, I incorrectly criticized it and acted like this doesn't work for anybody. And I was going off of dated data that Apple provided us from 2020 and 2021 back in the events where they used to say that the budget iPad was the most popular. So I pushed a narrative that I believed that I should have researched more thoroughly, that the budget iPad was the majority of iPad sales, without doing my research, discovering that actually in the last couple of years, the iPad Pro has been outselling even the budget iPad. So I guess what I learned is people don't care about the same things I care about, and I'm out of touch.
He's out of touch. He's out of touch.
Out of time.
No.
The second time he says it, it's out of time.
But he's out of touch still.
You're out of touch. He's out of time.
It doesn't make me want an iPad anymore.
But it's okay, Drew. I accept your apology.
I don't think
Put the camera back on us real quick, Mike.
I
don't think you're
control.
keeping the iPad anyway.
I don't have control of the cameras here.
True. Put the thing. Okay, that works too. In regards to the iPad thing you just said, I wanted to show literally maybe 45 seconds before you sent the link to start our podcast today. Somebody showed up at my door, and it was UPS.
Why'd you show off your address?
No, the address isn't there. That's where it's being shipped to, and it doesn't matter.
Oh.
By the time this is live, the product's already been returned, but UPS showed up to get to pick up the iPad.
They do drop off there? That's nice.
No, they picked up the iPad. Somebody had to come pick it up. So
that's what I meant.
Yes. Yeah, that's the first for me. I'm used to dropping off at a store, UPS store, but somebody came to me. I guess apparently 2 blocks away is too far or something. I don't know. But
Too
I
far.
asked if I could go to the store, but it wasn't even an option when I was returning the iPad. I'm going to, since Drew is being honest about his stuff, I'm going to be honest about my stuff here. As much as he's conceding about the iPad, I returned the iPad that made me learn so much, and I'm going to be selling my 2018 iPad.
Are you sure?
This is not the first time you're hearing it, is it? Or did you?
No, I'm just saying. Nowadays, what could you get for it?
I could get something. I'm not too. It's one of the. I'm taking a Drew approach. It's. I have a certain number, and I'm not in a hurry to sell it, so I'm not gonna rush. And when the right person wants it, they'll come
What's
get
the
it.
number?
Are you in the market?
No, I want to know if it's so outrageously high that I'm like, oh, he's not selling it.
No, it's a fair price. I don't know if I want to say the price because I don't want to. I've learned my lesson about putting. Well, granted, this isn't going on Twitter, so I'm not going to get the bot thing. But I get. If they want to know that,
YouTube has bots, just to be clear.
yeah, well, it's not that. You'll know where to find me if you're interested in the price. I'll tell you offline. I'm not going to say it here.
Wow,
Just
good job being
keeping secrets
honest.
from the audience.
being honest. What?
You were like, in full transparency, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh no, I'm not. Well, I'm not telling you what. I'm not going to say it right here, right now. That's not the point. The point is, I'm selling the thing. I'm downsizing my ecosystem. I'm going to become a little bit more Drew, and run off of my
How
strictly.
does this look comfy?
That is so comfortable.
That's
where you're going to be sleeping.
Good.
I was
Wait,
gonna say.
I don't sleep there. I
Guess
sleep
what?
here.
No,
Anyway,
not if
that
you.
is what.
Yeah.
This
I'll
just
stop
doesn't
there.
look comfy.
Yeah.
Why are you holding an iPad while laying down on a couch like that?
That's how I held the tablet. I actually held it in
your arm
tablet
tired?
mode. No,
He's holding his iPhone there. That's not.
Yeah, but
the
the phone actually doesn't weigh less than the iPad. It's at least more grabbable as a phone.
I will
than
say
it
this:
is
the
an iPad.
2018 iPad it weighs less than that one, but because it's so wide, it's so balanced. It's not this heavy hunk of. I don't know. It's not like holding a MacBook. Any MacBook, even the MacBook Air, was more fatiguing in that position where I would have it resting on my thighs, where the iPad was just right there, and I'm just doodling, doing my thing. In that particular scenario, I'm playing Clash of Clans, but
This is me holding my quote unquote iPad, but this is a
hold
better
it
iPad.
for a long time, and you still got your sapphire blue nails. I'm convinced he's keeping them.
I haven't done it. They're chipping off.
Can't hear you, Mike. You're too far away. Don't care. Anyway, so I am going to be downsizing, and for the rest of the year, I'm just going to be a Mac only kind of operations here until I save up enough money where I'm going to get the 11-inch iPad M4.
What? Okay, now I'm even more confused.
I know. I realized.
What?
I was like, go ahead. Ask your questions.
What does the M4 iPad Pro do that your current iPad Pro can't? Don't say Apple Intelligence.
No. I didn't even think about that one. Oh, you know what? Add that one to the pros. I didn't even think about that one. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Drew.
I'm very tired of holding this.
Told you. Bye, Drew.
And you scared Drew off. He's gone.
Fine. It's okay. This is my. Oh, he's back.
What was that look?
So he came back like this.
Because audio listeners definitely know what looks like.
He was giving sexy time face. He was like,
what?
Wah, wah, wah.
Anyways.
So I'm getting an M4 iPad. What I'm looking for is an 11-inch. I want the smaller form factor. My time with both of the tablets has taught me that I want a smaller form factor that can still give me decent screen real estate. Now, it might change depending on what happens with the iPad mini this year, rumored refresh.
You have an iPad mini, don't you?
I do, but that is the house's iPad mini. That's my son's Frank Sinatra machine. That's what that is. That's not mine. That's his.
Why are you getting an M4 iPad? You have a Mac. You already did the test.
You did this last time when I got the iPad. Why are you getting an iPad?
You
have
admitted
an
this in
iPad.
your own video. You said, I miss the Mac so much.
Yes. So then, if you saw that part, then you saw my answer to why I want the 11-inch.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, then I'm just gonna say it. I found in this whole excursion how much I enjoy using an iPad. And even more so, I have been using an iPad more than I use a Mac. I only do the Mac for this and music. This is it, guys. That's it. My Mac now should be a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio. I'm done with the moves. I needed a portable Mac back when I was going from San Diego to Virginia to Colorado. All that made sense. I'm done for the foreseeable future. You can't pay me enough to have to do this again. So before this, audience would know, if we have old school listeners here, they know this. I've had an iMac since 2015. I like the desktop equivalent for Mac, or like the more stationary setup. That's my thing, and that's how
I want an iMac Pro.
No, well, if it's refresh, we'll talk. If it's refresh,
What's
we'll talk.
refresh mean?
It has an M chip, Mike. If it has an M chip. Okay, I'm going to keep going.
That doesn't exist.
Then I don't want an iMac Pro is what I'm trying to say. But if they put an M chip, if they refresh the iMac Pro with an M chip, maybe. But if not, I should be having, going forward after this
Mac
one, I'm not
Mini.
trying a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio. I don't really know yet. I like the
M4 Mac Mini.
Yeah.
No. Okay, hang on. I'm not in the market of getting rid of my MacBook Pro. Everything's fine with it. I'm going to ride this one out until it's done. And if it's anything like how I treated my last MacBook.
Is that when it doesn't get software updates anymore?
No.
Or does it start getting burned?
No, it's always closed.
You just
I don't
all
worry about
replace
that.
it immediately? 'cause
Mike,
there's
can I
some
answer the question? You shut up for a minute. You had your time on EV. Now I get to talk. Wow. I will most likely proceed to upgrade the MacBook Pro when I am more or less capped out of storage. That's when it's time to.
How much storage do you have on your MacBook Pro? I forget.
4 terabytes.
Where are you at right now?
Oh,
Wow.
I'm maybe a terabyte, maybe.
Okay, how long have you owned the MacBook
21
Pro?
since 21. I'm not in a hurry. It's been 3 years. I'm not in a hurry. Don't try to do math like, oh, you got.
So you
9
got
more
another
years.
decade almost. You have almost another decade.
No, that's not how it works, Mike. As tech evolves, file sizes get bigger. It does.
Not if you shoot at 1080p at 30 frames a second.
Or you store it
you
on
do
an
care.
SSD that's not your computer. I don't get the whole, I filled up my storage, it's done, I can't put anything. You can delete things.
Mike,
You can store things on
listen,
SSDs.
Mike woke up, guys, ladies and gentlemen, viewers and listeners. Mike woke up today and chose violence for both podcasts, and I don't know why.
I'm trying to save you money on this point right here. Why are you trying to buy
But
a
the
new
thing is,
computer?
we're not using our ears. We're not using our ears.
Someone's not using their brain in regards
We're not
to
listening. I'm not trying to upgrade my Mac. My Mac is fine, but when the time comes, I will most likely get a stationary Mac, whenever that may be. What I am trying to upgrade eventually, responsibly, will be my iPad. Because what I've learned throughout this whole thing is my 2018 iPad is just too dang slow. I didn't even know that was possible with ProMotion, but I've touched that thing and it was so laggy. I'm like, oh, I was blinded by how old my iPad is.
So why do you want to do that again?
Because I want a newer iPad. I still use my iPad the most.
But
Next
you
to my
got rid of
iPhone.
both of them.
No, I have my iPad right now. My 2018 iPad I have.
But you're
I'm going to get rid of it so I can downsize to a more portable device.
But
Me
you
a Mac.
said
Go ahead.
yourself
Yeah.
that the M1 iPad Pro, that's what you had that you just
Yes.
returned, right?
Yes.
The M1 iPad Pro felt noticeably snappier and more responsive because it's newer.
100%. Yes.
So why get the M4? Why not get a refurbished 11-inch?
So the thing is, the part that nobody's letting me get to the end of is I don't plan on buying another iPad until sometime
I'm nobody.
next year. So
Next year.
because I'm going to save up. I'm going to pay. Just unlike anything else, where I'll throw on a credit card and then pay it off afterwards at the end of the statement, and that's going to be thousands or whatever the case may be. I'm going to save up where it's just going to be another saving bucket of cash. Like I have vacation funds, play funds, and now I have a dedicated iPad funds. And every month I'm throwing like maybe $50 or $20 into that thing. And when it fills up, by the time I have at least, I don't know, $600 or so, I will assess the landscape, and I will be like, okay, was the iPad mini refreshed? Maybe I think I'm waiting for the iPad mini to see what's going to happen with that first. And
okay, I'll let you finish.
When the time is done, I would have already saved up enough money that the case that Mike is going to say, that's still spending money. That's my play money. I've already put the bills, the savings, the investments, the debt, all that's going to be taken care of. I'm still going to have some money in my pocket for fun and
You
for
could
playing.
use that for something else so much
Like
better
what,
than
Michael?
another
Like
iPad.
what? An iPhone? Because God knows
You're gonna buy one anyways.
Yeah, you don't want me to get an iPhone. You don't want me to get an iPhone. You don't want me to get an iPad, but you want me to buy a Polestar? Get that out of my face.
I never told you to buy a Polestar.
No. I can't buy an ID Buzz. I can't buy a Cybertruck. I can't buy an iPhone. I can't buy an iPad. I can't.
If you
buy
save up
one.
enough with this whole theoretical, I put it into the play money.
Then I'll
where
do whatever I want with it. But I'm being very
No!
slow and methodical.
You are the controller of your own money. You can buy whatever you want. I just don't understand why you want to buy another iPad when you've already been through 2 of them, maybe more, and you found that the other one aged and is not so responsive anymore. And the one that you had for a good amount of time to review, you didn't think was worth keeping.
It's because it's too big. I don't like how big it is. I'm having the same aggravations I had with the 13 Pro Max. That long period of use, I want something as small and comfortable as possible. And maybe, just maybe, there's going to be something really cool about another iPad mini this October. Because then it would have been 3 years since they refreshed that thing. And I'm secretly holding out for that thing.
Why not just use the mini that you have right now?
Because it's the house's mini. The stuff that I want to do on the iPad is going to be not allocated for baby stuff, bluey stuff, or FaceTime stuff. This is an iPad that's going to be strictly pencil, Procreate, or it's called Procreate on the iPad, Pocket on iPhone. It's going to be my creative device and my consumption device. And hopefully, willingly, it's an iPad that has a later chip, so I can not worry about this lagging behind with like limited software features that we're getting. I don't want to be software locked anymore. I don't want to have an old thing that still has not a good battery. The M1 iPad that I was using had a high. I forgot to record that part.
Why not give that iPad to Sage then?
Which one?
The one that's laggy. The one that's slow. Sage won't care. He's going to be watching.
Are you talking about my 13-inch?
Yeah.
Oh no. That thing
Why not give him the old one?
Because he's not even 2 yet. He's not going to get an iPad.
He's still handling an iPad mini that's newer.
No. You don't understand. When I say he has the iPad, it's on a shelf playing music for him while he's sleeping. It's a sound machine.
So why don't you just do that with the one that you have right now?
Because I'm selling it. I don't need 2 iPads. I'm going to get rid of this one.
You're going to have 2 iPads regardless.
So I'd rather have one that's now more up to date. My iPad.
The iPad mini is more up to date.
The iPad mini was never mine. That was Brittany's. That was her iPad.
What's mine is yours and what's yours is mine?
No. There's only one Apple ID signed into that thing, and it's hers. It's not mine. I don't get messages sent to that thing.
Does she care if you?
She does because she uses it more. It's the house's iPad. It's the way that we all.
Wouldn't she want a bigger iPad?
No, she doesn't care.
So she doesn't care. So that means she'd be fine with a bigger iPad.
No, she doesn't care about spending more money. It's already paid for. It's done.
Yes, so that's my point.
No, you're just fighting just to fight.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to save you money here. I don't
Stop
understand.
it! The whole point of saving money is having a little bit of play fun. I don't tell you where you can go and use your supercharging stuff, whether it was free or not. Go live your life. I have a play bucket that I'm slowly dripping some cash into it for an inevitable upgrade. And I can fill up that bucket quicker when I sell the iPad with the Magic Keyboard. I'm probably going to keep the pencil, though. I don't know yet. Maybe not. If I end up... No, I'll keep the pencil because the pencil can go to the iPad mini still. So I'll at least get rid of the iPad and the Magic Keyboard, and that should give me at least a couple hundred. That gonna give me a couple hundred. That's allocated, being saved up. And bills are paid, savings is already being built, and investments are being built. I have two different funds for saving. One's investing, one's saving. I'm comfortable, Mike. Don't worry about my money. I'm fine. At the end of the day, I want to have a better experience than the moment I boxed up that M1 iPad and I grabbed the 2018 iPad, I was like, A12X chip freaking blows. It sucks. Even with promotion, it feels like it's a 60 hertz refresh rate. This thing is like not fun anymore. So I don't like it. The screen is dim. The battery doesn't last long at all. And I don't want to just pay a couple hundred or pay $50 to replace the battery. Shut up, Mike. I don't want to. Now I want to get a cooler, more up-to-date iPad that's bright, has 4 speakers, bleeds my ears out, and I get to play high-intensity games like Clash of Clans, which is a joke. It's not an intense game at all.
I'm not telling you how to spend your money, Randy. I'm just suggesting there's an alternative that you could exercise that gets you what you want today.
I don't want anything today. What I want is to sell the iPad today. I will save up for the whole year. The rest of the year, I'm not going to have an iPad. I'm just going to save. I'm going to be very diligent about how I am.
In a month, you're getting a new phone, but okay.
Maybe I would like to, but we'll see. It's all see. I don't make promises on stuff I don't know. I just know what's frustrating me right now. My iPad is slow. My phone is software locked. Both those things piss me off.
You're going to get software locked every single year.
No, this is the first time a 10-month-old device gets software locked. That's not something that happens every time. I was rocking a 13 mini since 2022. I'm fine with holding on to something without it having the greatest camera sensor or cinematic mode, even though I was on the 13 or ProRes. I don't care about that stuff. But to just obnoxiously lock you out of how you can interact with the system for something that's not even. So why
support a company that does that?
Because I'm in too deep. I'm not going to Pixel. I'm not going to Samsung. I'm the last true standing Apple sheep. I'm such an Apple sheep. My SIM card has never touched an Android or my eSIM or whatever. I have always had my blue bubble, baby. I got my V card.
You know, you could get another phone and not put your SIM card in it.
Well, I don't, because that's just ridiculous. That's insanity.
That's what I've done. I'm pretty sure every single phone that I've owned.
I don't even know what you're saying. You're just trying to, honestly, Mike, you're just trying to be a contrarian to stir the pot more, and it's working. No, I can say I like how blue it is. It's actually a little bit green today, and you're just going to find a way to drill at that too.
If that's what your eyes see, then that's what your eyes see. No, when everything is red, it's hard to see the red flags.
But I appreciate your concern, but I'm not getting a light phone. I'm not getting an Android. I'm sticking with the iPhone. I already know that because it's not about me. It's about the family. The ecosystem is just a vibe, which is why Drew's not going to get an Android because his chain of command is not going to prove that. You're not going to do it. Not going to happen. Never going to happen. You'll review it, but you'll never have it for up to 12 months. I'm calling it right now. So changing this subject, what happened with Team Pixel, Drew?
Oh my gosh. He says I chose violence.
It's a whirlwind of policy changes. I was actually just reading. Apparently they removed the part of the Team Pixel agreement that I had a problem with.
Oh.
They just Disney Plus'd you about like, wait, arbitration isn't it? I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Yeah, that was the brand love section. Quite a creepy headline. But yeah, as soon as they decided to make Pixel's Team Pixel a sponsorship program rather than a review program. I was like, huh? But yeah, their latest wording confuses me even more. Now they're saying the goal of Team Pixel is to get Pixel devices into the hands of content creators, not press and tech reviewers.
How weird.
So me. Give me phone, please.
Not
I
a
would like
tech
to review a
reviewer.
Pixel. Hey, here's something topical. Here's all my phones that I've owned. Notice how I've only had a Pixel for 3 years. I feel like there's a little bit more time that I could offer Team Pixel, even though I've spent a lot of time in, as you could tell, Samsung and Apple.
You're already contaminated, Mike.
What are you talking about? Contaminant.
You're contaminated.
Wow.
Oh,
You're
wow.
spoiled goods.
Is that techist? Are you being techist right now?
If anybody should have some type of open partnership, it's this guy right here. I'm a ride or die. I'm a Hoyle low, if you catch my drift.
Drew,
I will
remind me, what'd he say about 5 to 7 minutes ago about
I don't want a
I don't know. I
Pixel.
wasn't
SIM
listening.
card into another phone?
I don't want a Pixel. I'm talking about getting on some Apple payroll, baby. I'll shill that stuff out. I don't care. I know that's not how they operate, but I'm a sellout, and I would support it anyway. It's what I use. I put my money where my mouth is. Now I want to put my money where my money is.
No, yeah, it's like I said before, switching ecosystems can be a pain in the butt, and it's why, unless you're a tech reviewer or a content creator, I guess those are different things.
Wait. Ready? Influencer.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to switch ecosystems unless there's some very, very noticeable advantage, but I still want to give it a fair shot. I don't want to do it when it's brand new because, I mean, I should follow my own advice and acknowledge that pixels depreciate like crazy. So you can get one for a lot cheaper if you just wait a little bit longer. And there was no chance that I was going to be able to capitalize on the early launch day pixel hype anyway, because everybody got their early review units. So what's the point in me trying to, hop on that bandwagon when clearly I'm not going to win? So I would rather have a longer form, longer term review process so that I can figure out what exactly am I missing, because I keep seeing some incredible reviews and incredible things people are saying about the Pixel, and I'm far more curious about it than I've ever been before.
Drew, can I talk to you as a friend?
No.
All right.
You must talk as an enemy.
Go ahead.
Then you're my enemy. Okay. Wait until after iPhone keynote.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's all I'm asking. Do what you got to do for injecting some interesting topics into your channel. I respect the hustle, and I like the idea. If you're not going to take my approach of doing one of each simultaneously, do what you got to do after iPhone season. Let the season of 2024 drops finish out, and because you're not going to do Samsung, so we're not have to worry about January, February. That doesn't matter. So just wait until iPhone comes out and just see if since I said in the last podcast, I'll say it here. Just see if there's a reality distortion fill that still happens on the iPhone side. Because you're like, I use Google services. I use Google, but there's so much more to it. And we got the coolest, latest, and as of today, the greatest smartphone right now. But what's less than 30 days? Let's just see. And then maybe if you're like, no, you know what? I actually want to try out what this, one more thing, hidden feature or something for the iPhone 16 Pro or whatever the case may be. Maybe if that catches your eye more, I just don't want you to keep on switching your phones like this in a quick period. If it's going to give you a type of like smartphone whiplash and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. If you're going to do it for the long run, Make sure you're committed to it after you see the iPhone. If you're like, I'm still gonna do Pixel, cool. Do Pixel, but don't have the FOMO with iPhone because you're gonna see me hold my phone, go like this. I'm gonna lick it. I'm gonna have so much fun with that thing, and I just don't want to give you FOMO.
Ew.
No, that was never that. iPhone season is like the Christmas of the Tech Channel. There's no way we were skipping Christmas. We're not going all, Pixel with the cranks over here. So, first of all, there was never any hope of picking up the Pixels or reviewing the Pixels on launch day because I was actually looking as the website went live on what the ship dates were, and I was not going to be available. Yeah. I was like, oh, I can't get it then. And we got trips coming up. We've got things going on. So it's like, no, I was going to have to wait regardless. Whereas iPhone season, of course, I'll be free. iPhone season's a lot easier to predict. It's always the second week of September. It's very predictable. And you go to the Apple store, you see the employees dress up and everything. It's a holiday for the tech community. So even if I switch to Pixel permanently, that's fun to say, I will not
I don't like that at
stop covering iPhones. I will still go to the iPhone launches. I'll still review the iPhones. This could be a whole tennis match, switching back and forth. I could switch to the Pixel, and then the iPhone could come out and be way better, and then I could, I want to go back to iOS now. No. Who knows is what I'm saying.
You're cheating on your ecosystem. I feel like there's a law in there.
What ecosystem?
Your ecosystem.
3 Apple products here.
And how many Google products do you have? Not services, products. Don't use the speaker. Don't use the speaker because you're not including your minis, your HomePods. So you're not including that. Don't use the speaker.
I have 1 HomePod and 3 Google speakers.
Well, you didn't include it in your count up. So
I have a Pixel stand on my desk.
I'll give it to you. Fine. It's an accessory. Was one of the 3 No, you got more than 3 because are you counting your AirPods?
I was.
AirPods, iMac Pro, MacBook, phone.
I don't have the iMac Pro here.
It's not.
Mm-mm.
I don't think there's enough room on that desk.
No, this desk is maxed out right now.
But you're beta testing.
Not recently. That was
beta
like
testing.
No, I haven't turned on the iMac Pro in over a month. I don't really consider that like what do you call it?
Point is, you don't have Google products, so you're cheating on.
But that can change.
It can, at the cost of committing adultery on iCloud, Apple account, whatever they call it, iTunes.
I'm not liking the techist attitude, Randy.
Well, you know how I feel about iCloud.
Oh yeah, no, we're not talking about iCloud. I meant the iCloud account, what they used to call iCloud account.
I have no loyalty there, and I would still have a Mac even if I switched to Pixel. So,
which is why you're never leaving Apple. So just don't do it. Just don't even have to do it. Stay right here. Stay right here. If you're gonna
have to do it,
if you're gonna go,
don't worry. I'll be fine. You'll get your blue bubble one way or the other.
It's not just a blue bubble, even though it is. It's not just that. Even though it is. It is, but it isn't. It's that, I don't know.
We don't even text that much, Randy, do we? It's mostly memes. Those are going to be
that's the best part.
But those aren't blue or green.
Yeah, they're going to be high quality anyways with RCS.
Well, I don't know. It just feels icky.
I think that's something you have to get over, Randy. That's a you problem.
Calling the kettle black. Says the guy who's telling me, Randy, you don't spend money. Randy, don't be
that's a you problem.
That's a you problem. I'm comfortable in my decision. I'm doing just fine over here. Randy, don't do it. Why are you switching your stuff?
And I quote, the camera is the primary focus for you.
Yeah.
Because of how it helps capture your moments with your son, with your family. Mm-hmm. And you loved the mini iPhone. But as much as you loved it at launch, over time, the RAM became an issue. You kept missing out on precious moments, precious memories because of how little RAM was in the 13 mini.
Are you watching my video right now? Is that what's
Not right
happening?
now. I watched it earlier.
Oh, okay.
But
Like,
when
this
it
is
dropped,
really fresh info. I feel like I just edited it.
notification squad. And yet,
Hashtag.
guess what phone has more RAM
I
than the
know what
iPhone?
but until September.
You think the iPhones are going to have 16 gigs of RAM?
Well,
Starting.
maybe if not 16, I know it's going to be more optimized. That is the most efficient phone year after year. iPhone is the most efficient phone at launch. If we do all the launches, iPhone has the most efficiency.
Hmm.
That's why they don't go stupid on the battery or the RAM. It doesn't need it.
Well,
They have something
until
so
you
much- they
start
have
running
time.
Apple Intelligence features.
They have time on their side, and their in-house chip is so much more advanced than Google's or Qualcomm's or whoever. And at the end of the day, I'm just so heartbroken. You're not an Apple sheep anymore. I'm joking. He doesn't even, but like he says it happy, like this is your Apple sheep here, and I'll see you in the next one. And he doesn't mean it. He doesn't. He doesn't
He
mean the
made a
Apple
whole
sheep.
video about this, saying that it's just a thing he says, that he's nothing near what he was.
Mike,
back
I
in
need
the
you
day.
to start making content so now I can quote your stuff. Drew's quoting me. You're quoting Drew. I want
What
to
content am I gonna make?
I don't know. You had.
I'm making it
ceramic.
right now. Actually, I'm making the
You had
content right
ceramic
now.
as a thing. I don't know. Do some art.
Ceramics.
Mike could make some great videos, I believe.
Yeah, you can.
I can make some great videos. I just don't have the time,
Bro. Oh,
It takes way less time than the podcast.
that's
I
true.
assure you.
Yeah, but which one's more entertaining? Randy yelling at me over his check choices and your check choices, or making a pot/bowl/cup?
Do a live stream. I'll hang out there. I'll be in and out.
I think
Yeah.
you should rant about tech as you're making.
It
Talk
just
about
starts
how
getting all floppy as I
be the antithesis of the Randy Nexus. Talk about how tech isn't art as you're making art.
Tech is not art.
Oh, we're about to throw down. Oh man,
See, it's a lot more entertaining.
I'm telling you right now. I have
This
never
could
wanted
be
to put
Mike's
my
full channel.
I've never wanted to put my hands on another adult so bad.
I'm so happy that I'm all the way over here saying
I'm
Wow.
about to Tuco Salamanca you.
I don't know what that means.
I know. That's what's so great about it. Tight. So, okay.
Randy has
hang
so
on.
much energy. Can we talk about iPhones then, if that makes you feel better?
Have we not been talking about iPhones?
Wait. Before
No,
we
we're
do all
talking
that,
about pixels.
before we do, hang on. We have to round
Pixels?
close off each section because I had a follow up to something. Drew, question for you. Is there a scenario where you could have both phones because one would still act as your primary work device and the other one can be your B-roll showcasing or whatever the case? Would it not make more sense on an operations stance to have one of each phone, regardless of how you choose to do your sim? That doesn't matter, but having both would give you so much more flexibility on topic coverages, side-by-side comparisons, better B-roll, different, even maybe in a sense like different angles. If you're going to have one that's your primary and you can't showcase that one, if you want to talk about the iPhone, you set up the Pixel and then you could be like, this is why, blah, 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 and whatever the case may be for the 16 Pro that you will inevitably get because that thing is going to be hot. Don't know why, but something's going to be cool. Like just the sheer thought that you know you're going to review the phone because of the new capture button wouldn't, at least in my opinion, better suit for you to have a Pixel phone or maybe, for the time being, your 15 Pro, but you want to get a Pixel. And then you can actually like demo, do side-by-side things of like, here's why this is working better. And here's what sucks about why. iPhone's not working as smooth, even though the Pixel is being treated like an SD card reader, and I can offload data and video and all that so much quicker. Or when you're doing those interviews, when you want to meet fancy CEOs and you have the latest and greatest right there and a little product placement, Google be like, hey, he's repping our phone while he's interviewing somebody. He's putting that in a positive light, and thus now you have a cycle happening of good PR coverage. Like, sir, what do you think about the Pulsar? Boom, and then you have the little Google logo right there, and then it's like, I've used these smartphones, and that's a fun challenge, just for the sake of calling it a challenge, of saying I can do all of this and do really professional stuff and meet high, important professional people and have it all done and documented, captured, audio, video, whatever, on these devices. And then you have a cool, longer term side by side of like, this is why I see value in this one over this one, or vice versa, whatever that case may be. Is there not a scenario where you can just have both and be happy as a content creator and as a person?
No.
Okay. All right, we can talk about iPhones now.
No. There's a scenario. It was such a long question. I was like, wouldn't it be great if we just...
Yeah, I know what you're doing.
There is a scenario, but I've tried it before. There's been times when I've had an Android and I've had an iPhone at the same time, and I just feel like one of them always gets left behind. One of them's neglected, and then it feels like a waste. It feels like, wow, I spent a bunch of money for that thing just to sit there.
Do you take your MacBook with you to work when you go down?
Occasionally. It depends on how long I'm going to be there.
So it'd be easier to have both your devices, not your MacBook, and it'd be easier than to multitask, work.
What?
Like, I don't understand why you want an iPad.
Well, first thought,
you have two iPhones, don't you?
I have more than two, but I'm trying
to
put
them together.
You could just have,
So, well, I will never. This will be boxed up and put into a frame like the 5S. This will never leave my collection. I love this phone way too much. My only regret,
I see when he holds up the iPhone that he has in his hand,
the mini. The only thing I regret is not getting a product red 13 mini, just for collection's sake. But that's
what you're talking about. You love the green.
I do, but that red, objectively, because this came out mid cycle for the 13 series. This was not one of the launch editions. The product red was my favorite overall color for the mini. So size, the 13 mini product red, in my opinion, if we're just going off of like promo and everything, that was the best phone aesthetic. That's peak iPhone right there. The green and forest green or alpine green or whatever they call it, like this was a Randy phone. When I saw this, like, yoink, I kept this thing. I'm going to keep it forever. This is going to be a part of my collection. So I don't count this as a smartphone. As time goes on, it becomes less and less a smartphone and more of a collectible. And I'm okay with that. But I will sell my 13 Pro Max in lieu of saving up cash for the next iPhone. Everything I'm doing about iPad and iPhone is strategic. When I have the money saved, I'm not just blindly buying things anymore. One, can't really afford it like that. Two, it's not good. It's not good financial practices of doing things. And three, I don't feel comfortable having that many overlaps of things just kind of hanging around. So selling the 13 Pro Max, selling the iPad Pro, and maybe if I end up actually upgrading, selling the 15, I would have one iPhone, and eventually at some point next year, I'll have an iPad. I want an iPad because I like having the Apple Pencil utility. I like the touchscreen experience, and I like having the optimized apps over .com sometimes. That was my favorite thing with iPad. Using the dedicated YouTube app instead of what I do right now, which is, saved to the dock as a .com.
No, I prefer the apps too. I just think the iPhone gets the job done.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't use my iPhone like that. I use my iPhone when I'm out and about, out of the house. When I'm in the house, 100% of the attention is on the iPad, unless I'm doing this stuff right here.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, let's talk
I can
about
see-
iPhones now. I don't see you, Mike. We're talking about iPhones.
I wanted to ask from the reviewer's perspective, because of course we have to review the new iPhones. That's just what we do here.
Oh darn!
Should I review the entry level model or the Pro, or both?
If there's something so advanced on the camera system with the Pro, you should get your hands on at least the Pro. Honestly, I don't think there's going to be something that revolutionary with it, even with the capture button.
I have a hard time figuring out what about the capture button is going to be so amazing.
We had a hard time figuring about Vision Pro, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my god, I got to get my hands on this thing.
That's true. They
You
are
know?
known to surprise us.
I think getting a base model 16 would be more impressive because now
I really like the blue one.
That reminds me of 10R blue.
It does. It's a little darker, but yeah, it I feel like it would match with my channel perfectly, which is a stupid reason to buy it, but
Dude, I was just talking about why I got the green one out of principle. Like, it's fine.
Or you get the brown one.
That's not brown.
This is brown.
He got it the brown one.
It's brown. Look at that.
Oh,
I mean, it
Mike, this
brown.
is why you need your own channel.
It's brown.
Comments
What is-
like this.
What color is that? Tell me, is it gold? It ain't gold because
It's
it ain't
bronze.
That ain't bronze.
That ain't
Dude.
the official color either.
this is like the epitome of designer versus engineer.
This is not
I
the
know,
black and
I
blue
know.
and the white and gold dress over again. This is obviously brown.
Is it Yanni or Laurel?
brown?
I never trust the leak colors because most of the time they're wrong, and in person it always looks way different.
It does. You should get a base model 16 if all the rumors are more or less true about the entry models being the more advanced. Don't do this. This is sad. This is
Brown. It's
I
brown.
don't- that's not the official color, Mike.
We don't know what the official colors are. We just could be
So then
terrible.
what are you on about?
looking at it with my eyes. That color right there in that photo
Whoa.
is brown.
Here.
Don't people also call it brown? Isn't that what the whole leak is? It's a brown iPhone.
I thought natural titanium was
Okay,
the-
Drew's showing
Look
a
at
blue
that.
one.
That is so cool looking. Now imagine that as an iPhone SE4.
No, that looks like a 5C.
That would just be
It
missing
does
the...
look like a 5C.
Yeah, it is kind of 5C blue, isn't it?
Which
I
is
love it.
best lineup of iPhones in my opinion. The 5 series was
However-
great.
I'm not gonna say it, Mike. I'm not gonna do it.
This will probably be the last iPhone with 60 hertz. Not counting the SE.
I really wish
And
I
that
cared.
hurts.
Is it true? Listen, Drew, you do more deep dive analysis than I do. I get the same articles you do, but I don't go further after that. Is it true iPhone 17? We're not even talking about 16 now. Is it true
Oh my God.
17 is going to be like the biggest like mind blow since whatever new form factor, new refresh rate, evidently something that has to do with I'm
The
sure
120 hertz is rumored to come to the non-pros next year.
that's so stupid, crazy now. That's so ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I still think Apple will find a way to screw it up.
It's
But-
gonna be 90 hertz.
Here's my prediction. I think that the LTPO, because the feature is technically called Pro Motion. So people are like, they can't put a Pro feature on the non-Pros. That would be weird. Like the same way that the regular iPhone
ProRes?
15 has everything it needs to record in ProRes, but they choose to not let it. That kind of thing. I was like, why don't they put the LTPO panels on the regular 17 so that it still has always on display, like it can go down to 1 hertz, but then it only goes to 120 if you're in game mode.
Wow. Oh, that is so realistic. I'm getting upset. That is
This is when we get a bunch of listeners that say, Drew, stop giving them ideas.
That makes me so mad because that's such an
Because that
Apple
sounds
idea.
such like an Apple thing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They're like, oh well, just the normal moving around the home screen. You don't need 120 for that, but it can go up to 120 when you're playing a game where that gives you a competitive advantage.
Dude,
But
Jaws comes out that cocky smirk, like we did something, and he starts just pitching the 17 like he just reinvented the wheel, and it just, oh, that's so true. That could be such a thing,
would
man.
they do it? What do you think, Mike? Would they do it? Are they that petty?
Tech news is a bit dry these days.
I know.
So
I was doing a good job faking it for a minute there. But
how do you generate a lot more interest in your product? How do you sell someone this pencil?
Hey,
add the word pro to the end.
that's true. Oh, that happened. That happened.
Really,
That
sell
actually
me this
happened.
pencil.
History just keeps repeating itself.
Okay.
I am happy to say though that both of you inspired me.
Uh-oh.
Inspired? Did you get an inspired calculator?
Because I'll just reveal it this way. My MacBook is closed right now.
Are you staring into the ether? Did
Wait.
you get another MacBook? Are you using an iPad?
Nope.
So then I would think after all that, you probably... You know what? I know what it is.
I'm surprised
tell you
neither of you have asked me about
I
my
know exactly
setup
what this
week.
is.
I know
I'm
what
gonna-
it is. Oh my god.
I'm gonna let
Oh, I
Randy-
noticed it. Wait, did you do this for EV or did you switch it out?
I'm gonna
Why
let
did
Randy
none
get-
of you comment on the fact that my webcam and mic sound so different
Yeah, wait a
or
minute.
look different?
I you switched it out from EV, didn't you?
No, it was the
No.
same on EV.
I did comment about the mic. I said you sounded funny.
Randy,
But
do you know?
you
'Cause
weren't
I
like, why?
know the answer. to
Because
this.
he
Only
said he's
because-
using the Zoom mic because he's using his black magic camera.
No,
Nope.
but I
That's not
appreciate
it.
the compliment.
You're close. You're close, Randy.
Wait. He appreciates.
I only know this because I've got insider information. And by insider information, it's more of we had a discussion when he
But
was.
you thought
here in
this
the-
you thought this was a Blackmagic worthy camera. I appreciate that.
So you do have a Pixel.
no,
No.
no pixel.
How is he? Again,
Okay,
how do you
I have
think?
a lot of
How
pixels.
is he
I-
hosting this call right now? How is he doing this whole thing with his laptop?
What's my setup? All I'll say is the MacBook display has been closed the entire day.
You got this, Randy.
Okay,
I
well,
believe
then
in
that
you.
means, well, if it's closed, that means you're using an external monitor.
Bingo.
Bingo!
Wait, I saw an external monitor in one of your videos this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I did think about it in the moment. I saw an external monitor on EV. I was watching one of your videos on EV. Actually, I watch all your videos on EV, but there was one where I looked at the monitor and I was like, the bezels. I remember my first thought was the bezels. Yeah, it was the first thing was the bezel, but that doesn't explain the camera. Is this
Reveal. Whoops, wrong one. How the heck do I use this thing? Oh, that's how. Bam!
Wait for it.
I like how this is how you're doing.
Oh, that's an ultra wide.
No.
Here, I'll get more flattering. Nope. How do I get more
But it
flattering
is-
image of you?
It is curved.
That's what I meant. Like it's a 3x1, right?
No, it's 16 by 9.
The perfect aspect ratio, by the way.
That's right. I think the
I
curve
watched
might throw
videos.
you off a little bit, but yeah, that's my new tech update for the panel. You
Wait,
both
so the camera you're using is
inspired
from the
me.
monitor?
no, it's the iPhone.
Oh, it is the iPhone.
Up on this thing, probably the two thumbtacks.
Wait,
That's
okay.
right. You can
Wait.
see my phone mount right there.
Oh my god. Drew, can we gift you with like a MagSafe accessory that clips?
I don't think it would work as well, if I'm being honest.
I saw your monitor in EV because that's the only time I ever get to see your desk layout. And a part of me goes like, oh, he's had a monitor.
You
Even
didn't
though
think
that's not
about
true.
it. I haven't had a monitor for over a year.
Yeah, because you've been rocking the 16-inch. And I'm like,
Well, he's also been holding out for prices to go down for the XDR or studio displays, and they have not.
They did not go down. Boy, of all Apple products, they have held their value extremely well, in my opinion.
how much is the studio display right now?
I have a hard time seeing them go under 1,000.
Yeah, I paid 11 for this one.
Yeah, they're still very sought after, and I realized that I don't care that much about their advantages. I mainly just wanted the high refresh rate, and I'm mostly editing HEVC iPhone footage. So I was like, why am I trying to prioritize getting some mini LED crap?
So that display, that monitor is 120 hertz?
Higher.
Oh, 140. You're right. It's 144. They do 144.
It can go higher, but my MacBook maxes out at 144
What
hertz.
monitor
with
is
this
this
current
again?
cable.
And
you have
so
the
when
brand?
It's a company that has been emailing me for years.
yes.
They wore me down.
Oh
What's
man,
the company
Drew.
name?
I kept declining them for a long time, but they did send the monitor.
The conversations go deep here because I remember these conversations.
It's from, oh yeah, I talked to you about this months ago. It's from a company
Extensively.
called Titan Army,
Yes.
which they are not paying me. They're not, asking me to say certain things about it. There was no contract, so they said you can say whatever you want, be as harsh as you want, be as honest as you want, but we'd really like you to try out this monitor. They know I've been talking about external monitors for a long time, and they were like, please review this one, please review this one. I was like, I'm gonna wait for the Pro display to get refreshed, or the studio display. And I finally just realized I'm sick of waiting. I don't think this dream monitor I want is coming anyway. So, and I missed editing on a big screen. Oh, it's so nice.
What's
It's so much
what's
easier.
the inch of that? Is it a 21 inch, 27, 44? I mean
30,
42?
31 and a half.
31 and a half.
I found it.
It's pretty big.
I'm trying to pick.
Nope,
yeah.
that's 240 hertz.
Dude.
This one goes
Okay,
to 240 hertz.
So when you scroll, you have the smooth motion.
Mm-hmm. Which
Dang,
in
that's-
Final Cut is quite handy. Even in the members stream, people were saying that it looks like I'm editing noticeably faster. So I do think I've discovered an objective advantage to high refresh rate on the Mac. It's not for gaming,
I think I
but
found it.
at least with my style, let me see if that's the right one. Yeah, that looks like it. But don't order it yet if anybody's curious, because when the real video goes live, I will have a discount code for everybody. I don't get an affiliate. I'm not getting paid for you guys to order this, so literally no one can order it. That's fine. But they gave me a discount code. I just don't have it right in front of me. But if anybody is thinking about ordering this thing, then I'll give you a coupon code and it'll bring the price down to like
two display ports, two HDMI's, and a
Mhm.
headphone jack.
I
No
need two
USB-A or
HDMIs.
C. Yeah, those are two display
Why?
ports.
Why do you need two?
if you want to
well-
plug in multiple things, like you
Yeah,
could have
that's
a
pretty
PC and a
standard.
console.
That's weird.
My LG, my ultra wide curved LG that I had at least two of each as well.
But I think what really tipped me over the edge was Mike, though, because he just recently bought a new external monitor and he was showing it to me last Friday or Saturday, whenever we were down there. And it honestly looked fine. It looked great. I was like, yeah, you can read everything you need on there. It's functional, and it cost like a couple $100. And I was like, why am I building out this huge feature that makes editing a lot easier
Yeah.
and can speed up my productivity process? I can watch so much more at the same time, especially when I'm doing the members only streams. It's so much nicer to have room for the chat. Like, instead of trying to cram all of these windows onto my little 16-inch display, like, why am I fussing around all this, holding out for some hypothetical $2,000 Apple monitor that's probably going to have a lower refresh rate than the one I'm using right now, just because it'll be 5K or 6K instead of this one, which is 1440p, which is fine. My eyesight's getting bad. I can't honestly tell the difference anyway.
Welcome to old age, my friend.
My apologies to Ben Q, who was also trying to get me to review one of their monitors.
Next time.
I was like,
Next time, Ben Q.
No, I just told them I want a higher refresh rate, and they kept saying, "Oh, this one's built for the Mac. It's really good for Mac, and it has the Thunderbolt and all that." And I was like, "What's the refresh rate?" And they're like, 60. So I said, nah.
You said, "No deal."
No deal. I need that.
He looked at Howie.
I'm budget minded. You know, if I was purely just motivated by cost, the BenQ one cost more. Yeah. So I could have technically reviewed that one and just been like, okay, I got a more expensive monitor.
That doesn't mean anything if you care about the that's so funny because I'm like, I care more about the pixels and you care more about the refresh rate. And I'm like, that's the perfect monitor for you.
I mean, most of the footage I'm editing is going to be in a little window. I'm not watching things in full screen because it's a workstation. You know, I'm editing here, so I've got YouTube and picture up here, and I've got Twitter over here, and I've got my Final Cut timeline here. So 4K, it's really just slightly richer text. It's not like a night or day kind of difference.
Does it slide up and down this spine?
No, I don't think so.
I've been waiting.
I'm trying to figure out what this red thing is. Whether
mine doesn't have that. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's I don't know.
It does tilt. Yours does tilt.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't go up and down. Okay.
No. The truth was I did think about that. I was interested in height adjustable, but I quickly realized that with my current desk, I'm not going to be able to fit a MacBook underneath the display anyway because there's just not enough table space. So I knew
more of just adjusting it to what height you want at a given time. I like having it tilted a certain way and pushed down or pulled up a certain amount throughout the day because
I use my desk for that since it's automated.
See, the funny thing is, for me, like I couldn't raise the monitor any higher because of where I put my phone. Yeah. Otherwise, it would get covered up. Like this is already way higher. Like the webcam you guys are seeing me on right now for the podcast. This is not the main lens. This is the ultra wide lens.
And you're just cropping in.
Because if you did the main lens, you'd be too pinched in.
Or too punched in? Show you.
Okay.
Recenter.
Oh, he's definitely.
So you have that center stage thing going on.
There's center stage. And if I turn it off, this is how much I'm cropped.
He's so small. Look at him. Look how small he is.
Chrome has a feature built in actually that lets it zoom in, which is kind of cool.
Dang.
But yeah, this is my first time doing the podcast with it, and it's been so nice. But the one downside of this affordable monitor is it doesn't have integrated speakers, so I have had to bring out the old UE Mega Boom, which has been in storage for like 8 years, but it still works.
I hear you on the whole resolution thing, because going back to that 1080p video that I did, I've been waiting for somebody to comment. I mean, no one's really commented on it, but I did an immediate side-by-side to show what it looked like when I export at 4K and what I export at 1080. And it looks virtually the same. I do see, me personally, if I'm being honest, I see a slight clarity bump. It reminds me what you did with the iPhone 13 Pro Max that you had, where you did a video in ProRes, and you said it looked like you added a slight sharpening filter, and that was the only difference. And for whatever reason, that stays with me. It lives rent free in my head, that verbiage, because then when I do the 4K, that's what it looks like to me. I just see a slight little bump, and especially if I'm filming not on an iPhone, that lens is so big. everything is naturally softer than that artificial crispiness that we get, which I think it works good for something like this because this stuff is filmed at 720 for StreamYard. So I'll take any clarity that we can get out of it. But at the end of the day, the resolution doesn't really matter anymore. However, with that, the reason why I care about resolution over refresh rate is clarity of the text when I actually proportion the desktop to fit all these different windows sometimes simultaneously. I like having clarity on a smaller scale because my vision is trash. I wear glasses, and sometimes I'm like, ooh,
I need glasses. I don't have them, but I gotta get them soon.
Oh man, you're my little old Drew. He's aging. But so it's nice to have it.
Wow.
But also, to be fair, the monitor is like, it's right there. I can bring the monitor in closer, and sometimes I do. So it's not that big of a deal. I think knowing what we've talked about with refresh rates, I'm glad you got this monitor. I think this is the perfect Drew monitor for you, whether you paid for it or not. The fact that it has the thing that you're looking for the most, minus, okay, there's some setbacks, no speakers, no USB-C, but you have your little Pixel stand right there to charge your phone. So it's okay. Do you keep your phone plugged in when it's docked right there?
Yep, it's been plugged in the whole time.
This is cool.
Made sure because I wanted it to work for extended periods, but it's not plugged into the computer.
Yeah.
It's just plugged into a wall outlet. There were some little problems I discovered, like I'm pretty sure I'm maxing out the wattages on my surge protector because every time I switched around the USB-C cables on my shared power brick, the monitor would shut off and come back on. And I was like, okay, I got to move some things around. The speaker works most of the time, but sometimes there's this bug. It's probably a bug with the speaker, not the monitor, but sometimes when I switch applications, it drops the audio, even though it says it's connected and everything. So
when you upgrade your AirPods this year to the new AirPods Pro, everything will be fine. You'll be okay by then because you're not gonna.
These AirPods work fine.
Yes, but there's gonna be better than fine. Now you're gonna have something that you can hear heaven.
Fine.
You can put it like, wow.
I won't hear it with YouTube Music, right? It's not lossless.
No, but if you turn the volume up really loud, it's almost hard to tell. People talk louder when they want to sound smart, right? Correct.
I did see, however, that YouTube Premium, which I have, is going to build in a feature so that you can skip the sponsored segment of videos.
I already have it. Wait, you don't have it yet?
No, it hasn't rolled out to me yet.
Oh, I've been using it for like the last 2 weeks. It is so cool because it picks up on and it goes. When the moment they go today's spot, when the person says sponsor, boom, it just shows up. I click it and it always ends at the right spot where it goes. And thank you for Bubba for sponsoring this video. I'm like, yes. The only time it doesn't come up is if there's already title cards in the description and they have it sectioned off as sponsored, then it won't come up. However, my workaround that I found, wait, you really haven't had this feature? You haven't been using this feature?
No, I thought it was just announced like today.
No. Yeah, I've been using it for 2 weeks. Hi, I'm Randy Vasquez, and I've had this feature for 2 weeks now.
Say, Marquez Brownlee here in the podcast.
When you start to double tap on the right side of your screen to fast forward, you just do it once, and the skip, the jump section comes up. So you go do, and it shows up. Then you just click on it, and it moves you to the end of the sponsored read, wherever it is. I think the only time I haven't been able to get that to show up is at the end of the video. But mid rolls or beginning roll ads, it gives you that feature. Just the moment you start double tapping and to fast forward, it just showed up. And okay, since it's all the same story, I could not do it on the iPad. iPad doesn't give me community posts, and it doesn't give me the latest premium features. And I was like,
See,
So
that's why I use my phone. That's what I discovered. Everything I used my iPad for, I could do on my phone and more.
But you don't have a sexy signature like I do, so you need the Apple
That's
Pencil.
true. Even with a real pencil, my signature
But
sucks.
the Apple Intelligence will fix that for you, though. And then it corrects it. Yeah, it's YouTube. I think YouTube. I saw you tweet this today, and it's true. YouTube Premium is still probably the best subscription. Period.
And now it can be like truly ad free.
Dude. I think there's a video out there, if not on your dedicated one of our podcasts, where you've made this request.
I don't think there is.
I think there is. Well, you said the reason why you don't like sponsored because it's like you pay for premium and you're still getting an ad, and it felt like it completely neutralized the whole point of why having premium in the first place to not get ads. And that's before downloads and all this other stuff came out in YouTube Music. Like the main thing for premium was to have no ads, and then people are doing sponsored, these sponsored reads, and you're like, it defeats the purpose, and you were getting frustrated. And you're like, YouTube Premium should allow you to bypass that. You said something to that effect. I remember you saying that like YouTube Premium should have none of that. The whole point of it is that you don't get that.
I think I mentioned it when I was saying that's why I don't do sponsorships. I don't think I was saying it as that's why YouTube should integrate that so that we can skip them, because I've always been like, that gets messy because then the YouTubers' sponsorships don't get as many clicks. But what I think is a decent compromise is the fact that not everybody has YouTube Premium. So they're letting you skip the sponsored segment, but it's 80-90% of YouTube viewers aren't going to get that option.
It's better than going to Nebula and paying for another subscription so you don't get ads or whatever.
Or you just don't pay any.
Ads everywhere.
Nice teeth, Mike.
Thanks. They're not blue like my nails.
Not yet. But
yeah, just give me a blue Slurpee.
Boy, the whole not doing sponsorship things it's getting more expensive. I'll even admit I was tempted by some of these. I came close and I was like, Drew, don't forget who you are. And I was like, shut up, you pesky morals.
You
stupid ethics.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the bad guy.
I think I'm going to die then. I think that's what's happening.
Well, that's inevitable. That and taxes. But,
well, I mean the channel.
Oh, geez. No, your channel's not going to die.
Well, no if way. The options are die sponsorless or live with sponsors.
The option is, I don't think you can, I think it's impossible unless something happens to Google. I think it's impossible for your channel to die. There will always be some work, some business model, some workflow, revenue thing.
There will always be halami in Martingale.
And that one very generous guy that
Chris Norton will always be there.
Jeez. That was impressive. I saw that in live time. And I was waiting to watch you respond. I was counting the delay. And you were like, yeah, and so that's why I think the pixel's gonna be. He just punched in like, what? I can't even talk about stuff now and pretend that didn't happen. Especially because the camera's so slow.
Jeez. Like, to me, it almost feels like the brands know that I don't want to do sponsored content and they're trying harder now. It's like, you can't say no anymore because that just proves to them that there's activity. They're like, oh, he's reading these. Good. Let's send more.
You'll be tempted eventually.
Do you feel, but Drew, here's a moral dilemma, an ethical question.
Yeah.
Can't you compromise without compromising your morals? And what I mean is, what if there's a brand you really like and it didn't matter if they paid you or not? You're like, this is the thing. In this case, pixel or something. I don't know. But that doesn't count because you're reviewing it. So like, what if YouTube was paying you to promote premium?
Yeah, they should.
It's like, I believe in this. What if they said, listen, we need help getting the word out there for YouTube Music, and we want more creators to talk about it, and so they do some type of business, and you use YouTube Music. That doesn't conflict with the fact that you're like, this is why I like premium the most, and even though they are paying me, and I'm being upfront about that, I was saying this, and I will say this until something changes. I would have done this for free. I was a customer for years before there was a relationship there. And don't you think that there's things like that out there that maybe you could work with that doesn't compromise your morals, and you can make a better revenue stream? Not better, but just have one more opportunity of different revenue come through where it's still ethical because you stand by it. If Aptera is trying to get the word out there, what better person than Talos of EV? I know, wrong podcast, but that doesn't change the fact that that's what you believe in, because your vision through EV is in general the most efficient product. You care about efficiency above anything else. And if Aptera says we're ready to go start shipping and we need a marketing thing, and R&D is doing this thing, and hey, you're our guy, would you not be like, hey, here's that? At what point, like, that line blurs a little bit now that you're somewhat employed, even if it's 1099 through Tello, that you will eventually talk about an inevitable product that you genuinely stand behind, which is why you chose to work with them, that you got to have some say in. That's not being unethical and selling out your audience for some coin if it's a project you're actually involved in, one, or a project that you're actually passionate about, like Aptera. And I know we're talking more EVs, but I'm sure there's things like that. What if this monitor blows your mind and you're like, oh, okay, we can work something out? And that doesn't change the fact of, regardless of what the dollar figure is, that's a product you believe in. I don't think that's compromising your morals or your ethics at that point, if you actually believe in it. And if that means you don't take as many sponsorships, or you have a channel sponsorship where it's like it's always a partnership as long as you click this link instead of me reading some script, like the whole D Brand Marquez thing, right? If it's a channel sponsorship, then it's even more so the fact that you're not really sticking to a script because it is a collaboration. It's a collaborative partnership at that point. I don't feel like, at least in my opinion, you're compromising anything at that point, because you were going to do this thing, whatever product we're talking about, regardless, or you are working in it regardless.
I think you would know I'm being genuine because we've been friends a long time, so you know who I am, and you understand me pretty well. But the viewers don't have that same history, or there could be new viewers that are just meeting me for the first time, and their recommendation or belief in the honesty of the review would be tainted by the fact that, well, if he's disclosing that this is a paid sponsorship, can I really trust what he's saying about this? In which case, why listen? To me, that would be an indication to the viewer, like, oh, I should go listen to someone else. Even though you're right, I could be doing it totally wholeheartedly, and I'd be recommending this even if they weren't paying me, yada, yada. I just happen to get paid. I'm also just a stubborn jerk.
Well, yes, but we're talking about more products, right?
I don't want to complicate my taxes more.
Okay, all right.
Even if it meant that I made more money, I would rather make less if my taxes were simpler.
Mo money, mo problems, they say.
I've seen that play out myself, and I'm not convinced it would be. I've been wrestling with this for the past few weeks, honestly, because of what some of these brands have been trying to do. And I'm like, well, what if we just did a little bit, or what if we just did it once in a while? And I was like, it all comes back to the belief that, will more money help the channel?
Mm-hmm.
Like, will the channel become a better resource or a better service to people if it had more income? And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I don't think it would. I think that there's a lot of tech channels, or any channel really, this applies to any YouTube channel, that have already gone down the path that we've talked about previously, where you just buy into the latest and greatest and say all the good things about it, and just anybody can go out and buy something, basically. Like, that's the easy thing, in my opinion. Like, it's easy to go out and just spend a bunch of money and then say, there, I have content now because I bought stuff. I think I appreciate the challenge, and I appreciate the struggle of trying to figure out, no, wait a second, what's the most cost effective, and having a unique edge on your channel that separates you from other channels, I think is important and crucial. And it would be easy to just fall into what every other channel is already doing and just be like, okay, I bought all the new iPhones, I'll talk about the new ones, I'm going to use the new one. And it's hopefully more competitive / interesting for people to watch. Okay, how does Drew, or how does this guy I'm watching justify the expense? A guy that's not just talking about the product and the features, but also the financial burden of reviewing this and treating every dollar like it is hard-earned, instead of just, I'm a big YouTuber, I can afford it, so I should just buy whatever. And the more I thought about that, the more I realized, yeah, it would probably be the easiest thing to do, to just take these brand deals and then buy up all the latest and greatest stuff and review it. But then you just become another one of everybody. You're just one with the crowd. You're just adding to the noise. Yeah. And I'd rather try to resist that, if at all possible. So
how much time do you really think you have? How long can you go resisting it? That's a real question. How long?
Wow.
How long? The devil's on your shoulder. How long?
Tello helped a lot. I'll say that much.
Thank you, Tello.
I was like, well, now that YouTube's not my only income, in fact, it's not even most of my income anymore. It feels like it's back more into a hobby territory, where it's like, well, now I do it for fun, and I do it because it's interesting to me and I enjoy it. And I know that there's a lot of audience that has appreciated not just what I've done with the skits or the news or whatever, but also the podcast. I see how passionate the audience gets whenever we miss a week, or whenever we take a break that lasts a while. We get a lot of, when's it coming back? When's it coming back? People really like this. So.
For you, it might be Halame. For me, it's Nolan. Nolan slides into my DMs. Hey, man, everything all right? You need help?
Where's the podcast? When's it coming back?
Yeah.
So I don't want to let those people down.
Yeah.
And I think that staying, I just feel like I'm on such a good streak of no brand deals for this long. It feels like a defeat. It feels like giving up to actually give into one.
Man.
And I'm like, and for what? Just for my own, like, what do I need more money?
How dangerous is a person? I think I read that. I saw this. The question was posed in a way when this had to do with Ed Snowden. How dangerous a person can be who can't be bought. And you're in that territory. Two things. One, you used to say, yeah, but look at Marquez, Jonathan Morrison. Look at all these people who don't do that stuff, and they're okay. And then Marquez does do it.
Yeah.
They do it now. And to echo what you just said, that you're the rarity. There isn't many people who don't do ad reads or take sponsorships. And that's really rare now. It was very common in the early 2010s, not common now. Anybody can get a sponsorship. Shoot, looks like anybody at one point was able to get into Team Pixel. They let the Apple sheep in, for God's sakes. I mean, it's not that hard.
They let everybody in.
Yeah. And there's one guy besides you. Yeah, besides you. I'm trying to think if there's one other person. No. There's outside of you, there's two people, but one guy has turned it into a hobby. Funny you said that, because even he came out and said this is now no longer my job and all that. And he's an OG YouTuber who's been around since like early 2009, and he became one of the original like YouTube partners when that became a thing. And then he went through stuff, and I thought he quit, and he didn't quit. He just kind of pivot, and he doesn't do anything really, but he's never taken a sponsorship. And he's like, and I won't. And he says it for all the things that you've said, he's said. He's like, this is why I won't do it. My word, my opinion, my thoughts are mine. They belong to me, and no one is going to corrupt that. And I don't care what that costs me, because my integrity costs me more. I have to be in the skin at the end of the day. And so he's very against being told what to do. And he's also kind of rebellious like that. He's like, I don't like being told what to do. And part of his content strategy in the early years was of that if he was very rebellious, and people liked that. And so he grew an audience because he was saying things that maybe you shouldn't be saying, but there was a hint of truth. He had skits that had hints of truth. And his thing is like, I'm not going to be told what to do. And if YouTube wants to shut me down, let them. That's their decision, but it won't be mine. And so his whole ethos, his whole identity is of that. It was like, I can't be bought. Even though he says that I can make way more money off of this stuff, he won't. And then there's another guy who is more like news, but his is more in the political sense. He does political commentary, and he's one of the only few out of anybody in that sector I've seen that who doesn't do sponsorship. And he says the only way I survive is because you guys subscribe to my Patreon. He's like, I have a $2 a month and a $5 a month, and that's the only thing that keeps me afloat next to AdSense. And he's like, and I'll be honest, I'm like, I don't know, in the top 5%. Like when you talk about like income type of things, like I'm okay. I'll be fine. He kind of reminds me of you in the sense where like he bought his house and it wasn't the sexiest house, but it put a roof over his head, electricity in the home, and he's good. He's like, I'm okay here. I don't need much more than that. I want to talk about this stuff because it interests me. And he's like, I won't talk to a sponsorship because then I will become corrupt. Even if I don't think I can, I think I will, because now they have influence over me, and I don't want to be told what to do. And it's all of these common things, and I've heard you say it too, is like you want your freedom of anonymity, or not anonymity, but just of autonomy, that you could do whatever you want, however you want, freely. No one is pulling these strings. A lot of people have told you this. Mike has said this. That there's so much respect in that to not go the route that everybody else does. And I respect you for that too. I just wanted to ask to see if you've even ever thought about, is there a way that you could do both? And if you feel like you can't,
Thought a lot about it.
I'm sure you have.
Recently.
Yeah. That's awesome that Tello helped keep you on the straight and narrow, keep you on that good path. I like that. I like them biasly for different reasons because it's helping my friend, and I like that a lot.
And I should be clear, I definitely didn't do it just for the money to take that job. The kinds of things you get to see going on behind the scenes, that experience is far more valuable and fun than just the surface level work side of things.
Tailosive as a brand will never be. It was never its goal to be the biggest anything. That was not your intent, and that's not its.
Mm-mm.
That's not its mission statement. Because if it is, you'd be dead in the water. Like you're not doing a good job if that was the case. I've always seen the Tailosive brand personally. I've identified it as that of there's a level of integrity in all that you do, that you could be honest whether you like something or you don't, and whether you want to do something or you don't want to do it. No one's ever going to question, or they shouldn't. I mean, you got the trolls that well, but we don't talk about the trolls. No one who actually really gives a hoot about you questions your motives behind wanting to do something. You could see it, and you are doing this to other YouTubers. You could see it when they're actually passionate about something, and when they're just cashing in a paycheck. I'm here to do my job. I got to read this thing. I'm gonna do this thing and carry on. Hey, here's that new thing. This is neat. Awesome. Goodbye. But you be like, I want the pixel because it looks cool. I like it. And like the passion seeps through.
On that note, I think I want the 16 Pro Max this year.
No, you don't. You don't even know what that looks like yet.
Brown.
The biggest.
Stop it, Mike.
You know what else is brown?
So this whole entire
No, I
time
think
that you're
it's the biggest screen iPhone of all time.
And this is the smallest screen iPhone of all time.
No, it isn't. Go ahead,
the
Mike.
12. I was comparing the two monitors, my new external monitor and yours. So you're just looking at the specs page, I guess, if you're watching the video. But pretty much the difference between yours and mine is that yours has a VA panel and mine has an IPS panel, where the VA panel offers a superior contrast ratio. But mine is a LED while yours is an LCD. Where the LC or the LED has I think was it a really good superior blacks and brighter colors. So I think they balance out pretty much in terms
What's
of
the
capabilities.
cost between the
So the Titan. So I'm looking at what's it called? Best Buy. Best Buy lists at $250 for mine and $399 or $400 for the Titan.
It'll be $300 after the code.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, anyways, on the same website, who knows wherever they're getting their model or their units, but I got mine $250 less than Drew, but he gets a widescreen and a better contrast ratio.
And refresh rate, right? Or does yours? What's your refresh rate? The hertz.
I believe. Where's the specs?
You should compare it to the 32-inch model. That would be more apples.
That's what I'm looking at. So you don't hear. I've got
you had the
on
27-inch one selected.
Nope. Yeah, mine's 27 inches.
Yeah,
yours is 31.5.
Go to yours.
Yeah.
Go back and then look screen size.
Oh, there you go.
So
now they're the same size.
$50 more.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you don't need a giant one, save yourself some money.
It doesn't look like much changes in terms of.
Right there, 180 hertz.
It's still 180 before and after, I believe.
Yeah, they're both good.
Yeah, they're both really good. I'm just saying, comparing the two.
That's how cheap these things have gotten.
I know, right? That's kind of what convinced me to pull the trigger. Was like, what am I waiting for when you can get
a higher
monitors?
refresh rate at 240.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not utilizing it because I'm on a Mac anyway. But
sure,
144 is what's going to cap you guys out on your on the Apple Silicon stuff right now.
Yep.
So you guys have the same refresh
Macs
rate.
can go higher, but you need I think I'd need a Thunderbolt to DisplayPort cable, which I don't have.
Oh.
I think Macs can go higher, but it'd be very hard to notice at this point.
Oh, that's a big contrast ratio jump, isn't it? That's a big one.
1,000 versus 3,000
versus 3. Yeah.
It's that
I noticed
VA
it.
versus IPS.
There are very good contrast on this thing.
Mike, does your monitor have speakers?
It has. I don't think so. Like Drew's, it has a aux port, but
I think at this price point, that's not
the thing that I like about mine is that it can rotate and height adjust.
That is nice.
So you can have it vertical and also change the tilt.
Tablet mode even on the Macs.
Everybody does. If I had a bigger desk, maybe I would have a secondary monitor that's sideways so that I could read the chat and go all the way back.
Yeah.
See people's earlier messages, but my desk is not ready for that yet.
They're both pretty good though. I think you chose a really good one to put on your desk.
Well, I like big screens.
And you cannot lie.
I cannot lie.
I knew it.
And that's why I want the 16 Pro Max.
But
stop lying.
You're lying. It's like that's not true. You like your 15 Pro because it's the smallest
I'm using
screen.
a lot more of my phone now that I'm running not just my own social media, but Tello's as well. And I'm using my phone as a camera for now that I don't have a webcam to fall back on because my MacBook is closed. The iPhone is getting.
Doesn't have to be closed.
Well, I can't put it on the desk. There's no room.
Move your Tesla Semi and all that
It's
stuff.
not on
you're
the desk. Look at the EV video.
Yeah, I need to go back. Cybertruck. Move your Cybertruck.
Where would you put the laptop? That's not gonna fit.
Where's the laptop? Is it behind your chair?
No, it's on the shelf.
The laptop is on the shelf. Okay.
It's directly. I think if you watch yesterday's EV video, you can see the top of it.
So you're using the laptop like a desktop and putting it on a shelf while you're using a big display.
Just like Randy. He keeps
Your whole
the
thing, your
closed.
whole shtick, both of you. for the
I know.
past
He's
couple
about to
years
fight
was,
us again.
Laptops. Laptops are the best. Why are you getting?
We
a
still have
Surface?
them.
Laptops.
If I need to take it on the go, I got
This
two
man-
things to unplug.
This man is like, nah, I'm gonna change to a Mac Mini or whatever.
I
or a
didn't say
Mac
that.
Studio.
You're not
I'm being
using your
gaslit.
ears, Mike. No,
I'm being
I
gaslit.
said when the time comes, whenever that happens, when the time comes, I could see myself getting a stationary Mac. I didn't say I'm getting one, and I'm definitely not doing one right now.
Never said right now.
No, you're implying it though, in your tone and everything you're saying, you're implying it. Our Macs are doing just fine. I'm gonna get an easily. I can see another 5 years out of this thing.
This is,
Easy.
in my opinion, why MacBooks are so popular. Is because for only a couple $100, as Mike just showed, you can basically turn a MacBook into an amazing desktop with a great refresh rate and a decent size and good resolution. But then when you want it to become mobile again, you can just unplug it, throw it in the bag, and now you've got everything you had on your desktop there. The next best thing would be if the iPhone could do that. So if the 16 Pro Max has some kind of Apple DeX,
I say
would want
this
the
much.
biggest possible battery.
If the iPhone 16 Pro Max with Thunderbolt, this, that, and the other offers us a DeX solution, I will not get another iPad.
What? I don't get that. Goes against everything you just said.
I know, but here's the thing. I understand why you stick. I understand why you stick. Insanity. I understand why you stick with your Mac and the iPhone right for now. There's beauty and simplicity even on the tech side. You don't have any overlap because you just found one good thing that does it really well for your use case as a content creator. I've demoed nice brown thing. Sorry, listener. The podcast listener, like he just showed his brown. That's gross. Your use case is very hyper specific for you, and I don't mean that like everybody's different. I mean,
But
literally,
do you think it's crazy considering how much I'm using my phone now to reply to comments and reply to Slack messages and to post things on mobile now with verticals because I don't like TikTok on the desktop or whatever. Like, is it bad
Do
to
you use
go all
TikTok?
in? TikTok's our biggest account.
oh my god, no! Listen,
Should see what kind of numbers we're pulling.
For you, honestly, I don't think it's bad to go all in. The dynamic change. I guess my thing is, but you can always reassess later afterwards. Is that like I would assume, in some capacity, your relationship with Tello will change, and you won't be maybe doing this element of it, or if anything at all. We don't even know how long this will go on for, unless you signed a contract by length.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything's symbiotic right now, but things can change again. For all you know, you have life events that happen, and it requires you to redirect your time elsewhere, and you would have to take a step back or whatever that case may be. That's a scenario. My issue is you going all in for the sake of work productivity outside of what you have 100% control over. But if we're just talking about iPhones, I mean, there's a new one every year, and it's not like it's out of the norm to upgrade annually anyway. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just really interesting. Look how much changed since 11 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
You went like, I can use a smaller phone. I'm going to get rid of the iPad. I'm not wearing
Well,
an
if you
Apple Watch.
remember back when we unboxed the 12s at your place, I was really in love with the Mini and the Max. I hated the middle ground.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm less interested in. I already don't love the current size of the 15 Pro. I think it could be smaller, and I'd love
Right.
it more. But now that there's so much more screen time in my life, I'm like, maybe I need to go back to becoming a Max guy.
Question. Do you see yourself needing a Max, or is it really just wanting it? And I guess I'm asking.
Oh,
Not
it's definitely a want.
okay.
That's for sure.
I remember that.
I don't think I could argue it's a need.
Look at that.
But as far as like what I review, that's what I was asking you both earlier. Was like,
Keep going. And
I mean,
oh, I thought that was me. I make a cameo in that. That's my phone. And then we opened up Brittany's, and she got mad about that.
that's right.
She has since calmed down. She was like, "Okay, now it's not that serious."
She brings it up every time I see her.
That's because that's the common ground. Let's talk about tech and how I roasted Randy and I chewed his butt off. Look at
That
that.
was
That's
fun,
why
though.
I agree with your wife all the time.
Yes, I know. And I
Except
agree with
about
Carrie.
the ID4 or ID Buzz, whatever the heck it is.
Well, I mean, that's a whole different podcast. I understand though wow, you've changed. Wow. Look at that. All right.
Wow.
Anyway. Wow. It's more of a want. So
I want my wife to have a phone with USB-C, and I'm trying to figure out, the best way to probably phrase that would be me get the cheapest possible 16, and then either or get the cheapest possible 15 after the price reduction, give that to her, or I switch to the 16 because maybe the 16 has some feature that my 15 Pro doesn't have. I don't know, but my preference or my plan will definitely change based on what Apple announces.
how do you see yourself? Actually, this goes back to when we started talking about iPhones anyway. How do you see yourself? You asked, should I review a 16 or 16 Pro or both? The obvious answer would be, oh, check out both. Yeah, give some update. But that to me, honestly, I was going to say that as a cop out. I see a really big case of getting the Pro to get a genuine side-by-side for whatever new camera thing that they're going to talk about, especially since now 16 Pro will default automatically with 5x zoom instead of 3. And I think that's kind of cool. I like that you can get a better zoom on the smaller form factor. So many buttons.
But the smaller form factor is bigger now.
It's going to be marginally bigger. It's not. I did it. If you look at the thumbnail from the video I posted today, those are side by sides of the exact same mock-ups of what the dimensions are reporting. And I can't do it because I'm using my phone. I was like, I'll just show you. I can't. I was gonna move them together. I did I overlaid the two PNGs. Yes, I took the PNGs on both of those, and the 16 mock-up is so marginally bigger that is only noticeable when you do an immediate side-by-side. And that's like most things in tech anyway, especially when it comes to iPhones. It's only when you do a side-by-side will you then start to notice the difference. Oh, it weighs a little bit lighter or heavier. Oh, the camera sensor is a little bit wider or tighter. Oh, so now this one's a little bit taller or shorter. Oh, the bezels are thinner, only noticeably when it's side-by-side to the chunky 13. It's only when we do that we're like, oh, I can actually see it and appreciate it for 2 seconds. But just like anything else, like updating to iOS 18 beta, you notice it, you change your color, and then you're like, all right, it's dark mode, I don't care, and you forget about it. That is nice. That is how the base 15 and the base 16 will be compared. And we'll see a bigger improvement on these camera sensors with the Pros because that's where they always go all in on. So I feel like maybe you should do both for real reasons. Now, I talked myself into telling you should get both, because maybe you'll keep them both. One goes to Luis, one goes to you, and then you don't have to do this whole back and forth thing.
What happens to the 15 Pro?
You sell it.
Oh, no. Oh, I've sold so many phones. Mike, talk me out of it. What do I do?
Pixel.
Ew! Mike, shut up. You're done talking. We're done. You're done. All right, Drew. Anyway, like I was saying,
Mike's like, buy a Pixel. Randy's like, buy 2 iPhones. Keep both of them.
Louise is not going to use a Pixel.
She did.
She's not going to.
You don't remember that whole thing? It's like one of the most viewed videos on the Taylosive Life channel.
No, I'm telling you. You're not listening. She's not going to do it.
Even if it's cheaper?
Well, you're all you care about is USB-C. I think you can make a good case if you find a cheaper USB-C that works. But that really is, like you said, that depends on what Apple does next at the keynote. That's going to really dictate what happens for the next at least 6 months to, I'd say, 6 to 10 months. Easy. That's going to play out. That's going to be really interesting. I'm kind of nervous. Like, I'm getting excited about next month for you. Like, I'm getting more worked up, not because of what I'm going to get, but because what Drew's going to do for the next year. It's a big deal. It's gonna decide how. Yes, it is. It's a big deal because you know what's crazy, Drew? Can I cut this part out if you feel like it's inappropriate to say this? But at one point you were saying how you were going to bet the channel on Vision Pro.
I don't remember that, but
I do. And Vision Pro ended up not that's a letdown, but it's a Gen 1 product, and it's really expensive. It's a very expensive Gen 1 product. And there was so much hype for such little, like, no one talks about it anymore. The only time people talk about it is when they're trying to get some new clicks on a YouTube video. But I mean, genuinely, no one's talking about it. No news articles, even Apple.
Half expected that.
Yeah. But when you said I was betting the channel, the point you were making was like the future of tech lies in this new form of interaction. And that's a very big commitment going all in on Apple at that point. You would kind of have to. Yeah, you could do. I mean, Mike demoed the Meta competitor at that moment, and we all did, our series or season premiere with trying out the different headsets, and it's there. It's a thing. It's cool. Get it, buddy. There it is. So wow. you got to see both in person in regards to what those two kind of could behave, and that's a big commitment because that's a very expensive commitment. Had you gone through with actually saying, like, I think Vision Pro will be it, like, say the Vision Pro was everything that the future is kind of promising, but in this gen of it, you wouldn't be okay, maybe I'll do a Pixel and this thing. If you did, it's a very expensive transition of things, and then it becomes a very heavy paperweight, which it kind of already is a heavy paperweight. I feel that on less riskier terms, you get the same aspirations that you want from Vision Pro doing a Pixel thing or an Apple thing, which is what I'm saying. Either buy two iPhones, one of each, give Luis the base one at the end of it, or return the base one. She takes your 15 Pro, and then you have the latest, and that's your strategy for the next year. Or do a drastic change, like what could have been with the Vision Pro and with the Pixel. Objectively, with the Pixel, then you get your form factor and you're all in. Now you're Team Pixel without being Team Pixel, and you're Pixel Boy, you're Pixel Boy, and without being Team Pixel, and you can ride that Google services wave, to the very end because you genuinely believe in it and you use it. And that's a bet. That's a pretty big bet too, because Apple gets the clicks. Everybody always compares things to Apple. We've seen people who used to be tech channels are now Apple channels because Apple gets the clicks. It's ballsy for you to be like, I'm gonna just do Pixel stuff now. You're not gonna get the same clicks, but you'll get a whole different new demographics of audience, which will be kind of interesting to see as well. And maybe you can help break some of that toxicity too. These team this, team that, team Apple, team Google is so childish and stupid. I've never liked it. I hate it.
Speak for yourself.
No. Go ahead.
Excuse me, Mr. Hypocrite.
Tell me.
What were you saying at the beginning of this dang podcast?
That I have my V card for Android because I never put my SIM.
That's not the only thing. By the way, Drew, put up the screen. Put up the dang screen. I'm going to prove this guy right. There is a digital color meter picker built in to Apple. And guess what? That dang color is brown. The hex color picker shows it's brown. It's brown.
No, put me back up, Drew.
It's brown.
That isn't the official Apple launched color. That's some mock-up crap, and it looks like crap. Literally.
Never said it was the official Apple launch color. But what I did say is that color is brown, and you said it's bronze. I thank you.
It's supposed to mimic bronze.
You may say that, but that color's brown.
You're wrong. Question, Mike, do you say iPhone 10 or iPhone X?
X. I've always
Exactly.
called it X.
Exactly my
One
point.
time I called it a 10 because you guys have brainwashed me into thinking.
Exactly my point, Mike. Exactly.
Insanity.
It's supposed to be bronze. It doesn't matter what you call it. Doesn't make it right.
I'll have to see it in person to tell you what the color really is.
It's
But-
trash.
Again, remember what I said. Anybody can go out and buy something. So
I know. Well, okay, so
they
then,
have to be more creative.
But only one person on this podcast, or maybe two, definitely not three, can buy a Pixel.
here we go. No, I told Drew if he had one of each, I would, because he said, "Do that. You have a tech channel. Do this too." I said, "I will do it if you do it."
Wait, what did you say you'd do if I do?
Last week, you told me, "Randy, you should get a Pixel. You have a tech channel now." Da, da, da. And I said, "I will do it if you do one of each, iOS and Android with you, and you have both. If you did that one, I would do it with you. I would get a Pixel 8. I don't think I'd get a Pro, but I would get a Pixel 8 for sure. And I would.
Pixel 8 was the best.
Is it? I don't know. I feel
I
like
loved it. It was a great phone.
Wait,
Still miss
sorry, Pixel 9, base model Pixel 9. I meant Pixel 9. Sorry, my apologies. And then he's got the Panda.
Pixel 2. It's not Panda, it's Penguin. Get it right. Look. There's the beak. It's an orange button. There's the head. It's the lens. There's the rest of the body. It's white. It's a penguin. Or a puffin.
Penguin.
So, Drew, what are you looking for in an iPhone that makes you want to stay?
I guess it already has all of my passwords.
That's not a reason to
Always grab
upgrade
all
to
the
a
passwords
16.
from the password manager and put it onto something else.
Oh, yeah, that's not true. Last time I reviewed Android, I moved all the passwords over to Google. So, no, Apple really doesn't have too much keeping me around, do they?
I was asking more along the lines of like, why upgrade at all to anything in the 16? Like, what is it that you're looking for? That would be like, oh, that I want that. I need that.
Better battery, better camera, the works.
That works. Okay.
I mean, with as much I'm using my phone these days, I'm actually killing it quite regularly. Maybe I should charge it to full sometimes.
I gave up the 80% thing. Actually, when I got the beta, I went to 90 for a little bit, and I was like, "This is way better."
I should have given up.
And then I
My
just went
battery
to-
health is tanking. I don't know why I still cap it to 80.
I'm at 90% battery health.
Ooh.
My mini that I had longer than that is at 93% battery health. I
How
love
much did you use that mini versus how much you've used?
every day for a year and a half.
Wow.
But the thing is, the mini reminded me that this is just a phone. This wasn't my everything. I was more disciplined on getting on social.
You are my everything. Give you everything you want.
I love this phone, and my only regret is that there wasn't enough RAM. But for you, Drew, I think you should get a Pro Max, and I hate that I'm saying that. I have never said that. I have never told you that. I think you should get a Pro Max. I really do. That's so gross. Oh,
What reality am I in?
I
must have
me right
jumped
now.
a couple recently.
This is not the sacred timeline.
This is no.
Nolan is the, what do you call it? Arc character.
You keep on bringing this. It's not our anchor.
Anchor.
He's
Nolan
the
is our
anchor. Oh no.
All
We
right.
gotta protect them at all cost.
We're gonna be doing this till we're 90.
So we're 90.
Till we're 90.
Insanity.
All right.
Gentlemen.
Any closing thoughts, Jens?
No, that's my question. I'm driving this ship today.
Oh, okay.
Any closing
Yeah.
thoughts, gentlemen?
Brown.
I hate you.
It's brown.
I hate you.
It's brown.
I hate you. That's leather. That looks like leather.
What color is leather? Brown.
Bronze.
What? No. I'm done.
Yes. Oh, real question. Here's my closing thought. It's a question for both of you. Mike, I don't think you. No, yeah, you have a 14 Pro. So, okay. Question. Rumor has it. Actually, I'm not even going to stage it that way. What cases do you think are going to be released with the 16? Do you think there's going to be fake leather? Do you think they're going to stick with that fine woven again? Do you think they're just
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
You think fine woven's sticking around?
I do. What else they're going to do? They can't go back.
I think it's electric boogaloo for fine woven.
Get.
They're gonna say they improved it in some way. I bet they're gonna say like, oh, it's more durable now, but they
Maybe
can't go back to leather.
What
Or some
about
durability?
vegan
skin.
leather? What if they just took a page from Tesla?
Don't they already do that?
No, they don't have vegan leather. They just stopped.
I feel like we would have heard about it if they were going to by now, but I guess that's a possibility. They do leather that's not leather.
Have you guys actually become hands-on with those fine woven cases?
Mm-hmm. My wife has one, and
She
she
does?
loves it.
Does she?
I love it too.
You
I think
do?
it's-
I didn't think it was possible for me to hate you more.
Well, buckle up,
Well,
bucko.
To be clear, I don't like fine woven or any other case for that matter.
But it's not about, as we've established with the iPad thing, it's not about you, Drew. It's about what people are willing to pay. And
Randy's willing to pay everything in his wallet in a half.
Listen, that fine woven felt so tacky. It felt cheap and trashy.
Mm-mm.
It aged like
I
crap.
don't think I felt
No.
a nice phone case.
The stupid rubber in the past few ones have aged like crap. My wife had to
That's
go
true.
through 2 cases.
Those silicone
One
cases
case a year.
suck.
Barely.
Silicone cases. Those things are
Yeah, the
terrible.
silicone
we just
was-
had to throw out another one.
Yeah,
they
those things
just
are
fall
terrible.
apart from the very start. They fall apart. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
The case right now that my 15 is on,
You know what song that is?
it's tearing, but I didn't pay anything for it, so I've been rocking with it since I got the 15. I hate it. It's not good. I remember when you and Carrie came over and her case was just literally, she put her phone on the table and I saw the upper part of the, what's supposed to be product red was just, it was just,
Shiny salmon, whatever it is.
it was dying in front of me. I was like, this is gross.
Yeah, the fine woven has not done that with us. It has stood very strong,
It
and
feels
she's
so-
using it the same. Nothing has changed in her daily life.
God, what's it like to be so ignorant. I love you guys being so.
I'm living the ignorant life, and I'm trying to help you live the ignorant life, and instead you keep on crawling back into Apple's cradle and ask, "Yes, I would like some more, please."
I keep taking
Yes,
the blue pill.
Here's $1,000 more.
Why
Here's
oh
another
why
1,000.
didn't I take the
Here's another
blue pill?
1,000. Instead, you guys are taking the red pill. Look at your shirt.
Quite
Dr.
frankly,
Pepper.
red looks good on us.
Had to get it in.
Yeah. All right, guys. This was fun, and I'm glad we were able to do it back to back for 2 weeks in a row now. Hope y'all enjoyed this extra long episode. Can't guarantee it'll be like that next week, but we shall see. You all take care. Have a great one. Don't do Team Pixel. Don't do brown. It's bronze. And everything I say is memeable, quotable, and memorable. Goodbye.
Wow.